sparks and lustrous. The word, good metals. Within the regiment of the Spinny Eye, you shall find one Captain Spurio. Within his cicatrice, an emblem of war. Here, on his sinister cheek, was this sword entrenched it. Ha! Oh, sorry. Say to him that I live and observe his reports of me.
We shall, noble captain.
Aye, Mars dote on you for his novices. Go away now. Some other place, please, yes. What shall you do?
Stay and keep. Pardon, my lord, for me and for my tidings.
Oh, well, feed eater, stand up.
Then here's a man stands that has brought his pardon. Oh, I would you had kneeled, my lord, to ask me mercy, and that at my bidding you could so stand up.
I would I had so I had broke thy pate and asked thee mercy for it.
Good faith across. But, good my lord, 'tis thus. Will you be cured of your infirmity?
No.
My lord, there's one arrived, if you will see her. Now, by my faith and honor, if seriously I may convey my thoughts in this my light deliverance, I have spoke with one that in her sex, her years, wisdom, profession, wisdom and constancy have amazed me more than I dare blame my weakness. Will you see her? For that is her demand, and know her business. That done laugh well at me.
Now, good foe, bring in the admiration that we with thee may spend our wonder too. Or take off thine by wondering how thou took'st it.
Nay, I'll fit you, and not be all day neither.
Thus he his special nothing ere prologues.
Nay, come your ways.
Oh, this haste hath wings indeed.
Nay, come your ways. This is his majesty. Say your mind to him.
Now, fair one, does your business follow us?
Aye, my good lord. Gerard de Narbonne was my father, in what he did profess well found.
I knew him.
The rather will I spare my praises toward him, knowing him's enough. On's bed of death, many receipts he gave me, chiefly one, which as the dearest issue of his practice and of his great receipt, the only darling he bade me store up, as triple I, safer than mine own too, more dear. I have so. And hearing that your majesty is touched with that malignant cause wherein the honor of my dear father's gift stands chief in power, I come to tender it and my appliance with all bound humbleness.
We thank thee, maiden, but may not be so credulous of cure, when our most learned doctors leave us, and the congregated college have concluded that laboring art can never ransom nature from her inedible estate. I say we must not so stain our judgment, or corrupt our hope, to prostitute our past pure malady to empirics, or to dissever our great self and our credit to esteem a senseless help when help past sense we deem.
What I can do no hurt to try, since you set up your Reskin's remedy. Oft expectation fails, and most oft there were it most promises, and oft it hits where hope is coldest and despair most fixed.
I must not hear thee. Fare thee well, kind maid.
Dear sir, to my endeavors give consent. Of heaven, not myself make an experiment. I am not an impostor that proclaim myself against the level of my name, but I know I think, and I think I know most sure, my art is not past power, nor you past cure.
Upon thy certainty and confidence, what darest thou venture?
Tax of impudence, strumpet's boldness, divulged shame traduced by odious ballads, my maiden's name seared otherwise, nay, worse, if worse, extended with vilest torture, let my life be ended.
Methinks in thee some blessed spirit doth speak, his powerful sound within an organ weak, and what impossibility would slay in common sense saves another way. Sweet practicer, thy physic I will try, that ministers thine own death, if I can.
If I break time or flinch in property of what I spoke, unpitied, let me die and well deserved. Not helping, death's my fee. But if I help, what do you promise me?
Make thy demand.
But will you make it even?
Aye, by my scepter and my hopes of heaven.
Then thou shalt give me with thy kingly hand what has been in thy power I will command. Exempted be for me to choose from forth the royal blood of France, but such a one, thy vassal, whom I know is free for me to ask,
thy will by my performance shall be served. So, make the choice of thine own time, for I, thy resolved patient, on thee still rely. If thou proceed as high as word, my deed shall match thy meed. Father's voice I have to use. Thy frank election make, thou hast power to choose, and they none to forsake.
To each of you, one fair and virtuous mistress fall when love please. Married to each, but one.
Peruse them well. Not one of those but had a noble father.
Gentlemen, heaven hath through me restored the king to help.
We understand it, and thank heaven for you.
I am a simple maid, and therein wealthiest that I protest I am simply a maid.
Take choice and see. Who shuns thy love, shuns all his love in me.
Please hate your majesty, I have done so already. And to imperial love, that God most high to my sighs stream. Sir, will you hear my suit? Thanks, sir. All the rest is mute. The honor, sir, that flames in your fair eyes before I speak too humbly replies. Love, make your fortunes 20 times above her that so wishes in her humble love. Oh, my great wish receive, which love grant, and so I take my leave.
Do all they deny her? Yes. And they were sons of mine, I'd have them whipped. Or I'd send them to the Turk to make eunuchs of.
Oh, be not afraid that I your hand should take. I would never do you wrong for your own sake. Blessing upon your vows, and in your bed, find fairer fortune if you ever wed.
These boys are boys of ice. They'll none have her. Sure, they're bastards to the English. The French ne'er got them.
I dare not say I take you, but I give me and my service ever whilst I live into your guiding care.
Oh.
This is the man!
Why then, young Bertram, take her! She's thy wife!
My wife! My liege, I shall beseech your highness, and such been speaking into the house of mine own eyes.
Knowest thou not, Bertram, what she has done for me?
Aye, my lord, but never hoped to know why I should marry her.
Thou knowest she has raised me from my sickly bed.
But follows it, my lord, to bring me down must answer for your raising. I know her well. She had her breeding at my father's charge. Is she a poor physician's daughter, my wife? The stain rather corrupt me ever.
'Tis only title thou disdainst in her, the which I can build up. Strange it is that our bloods of color, weight, and heat, poured all together with quite confound distinction, yet stand off in differences so mighty. If she be all that is virtuous, save what thou dislikest, a poor physician's daughter, thou dislikest of virtue for the name. But do not so. If thou canst like this creature as a maid, I can create the rest. Honor and she, virtue and she, is her own dower, honor and wealth from me.
I cannot love her, nor will I strive to do it.
Thou wrongest thyself if thou shouldst tried to do so.
That you are well restored, my lord, I'm glad. Let the rest go.
Well, my honor's at the stake, which to defeat, I must produce my power. Here, take her hand. Proud, scornful boy, unworthy this good gift, obey our will, which travails in thy good. Believe not thy disdain, but presently do thine own fortunes that obedient right which both thy duty and our power claims, or I will throw thee from my care forever into the staggers and careless lapse of youth and ignorance, both my revenge and hate loosing upon thee in the name of justice without all terms of pity. Speak thine answer.
Pardon me, my liege. I submit my fancy to your eyes. When I consider what great creation and what dole of honor flies where you bid it, I find that she, which late was in my nobler thoughts most base, is now the praise of the king, and so ennobled is as to have born so.
Take her by the hand. Tell her she is thine, to whom I promise a counterpoise, if not to thy estate, a balance more replete.
I take her hand.
Hey! Good fortune and the favor of the king smile upon this contract, whose ceremony shall seem expedient on the now born brief, and be performed tonight!
Tonight!
Oh. As thou lovest her, thy love's to me religious. Else does err!
Do you hear me, sir? A word with you.
Your pleasure, my good lord.
Your lord and master did well to make his recantation.
Recantation! My lord! My master!
Aye. Is it not a language I speak?
Aye, and a most harsh one, not to be understood without bloody succeeding.
Oh, are you companion to the Count Brazilian?
Any count? To all counts? To what is man?
To what is Count's man? Count's master is of another stock.
You are too old, sir. Let it satisfy you. You are too old.
I did believe thee for two ordinaries to be a pretty wise fellow.
Yes.
Thou didst make tolerable vent of thy travels.
It's been around.
It might pass, yet the scars and the banners about thee did manifoldly dissuade me from believing thee a vessel of too great account. I have now found thee, but when I lose thee again, I care not. Yet art thou good for nothing but taking up, and that thou art scarce.
If thou hadst not the privilege of old age upon thee,
Don't myself too far in anger, lest thou hasten at thy trial, which if Lord have mercy on me for a head. So, my good window of lattice, fare thee well. Thy casement I need not open, for I look through thee. Give me thy hand.
my lord! Ah, you give me most egregious indignity!
All thy heart, and thou art worthy of it.
I have not, my lord, deserved it.
Oh, yes, good faith, every drag of it, and I will not bate thee a scruple.
I shall be wiser.
Oh, even as soon as thou canst. For if ever thou beest bound in thy staff and beaten, thou shalt find what it is to be proud of thy bondage. Oh, I have a desire to hold my acquaintance with thee, or rather my knowledge, that I may say in the default, he is a man I know.
My lord, you do me most intolerable vexation.
Oh, I would it were hands for thy sake and my poor good eternal. For doing, I am past, as I will by thee, in what motion age will give me leave.
Scurvy, old, filthy, scurvy, lord! There must be patience. There is no fettering of authority. I'll beat him by my life, and I can meet with him again. I'll beat him, if he were double and double a lord. I'll have no more pity on his old age than if he were well, I'll beat him and I can meet with him again.
Hey! Your lord and master's married. There's news for you. You have a new mistress.
I most unfeignedly beseech your lordship to make some reservations of your wrongs. He is my lord, whom I serve above is my master.
Who? God?
I, sir.
The devil it is that's thy master. No, mine honor. If I were but 2 hours younger, Bob is never on a bench and never stands to beat them. Thou wast created for men to breathe themselves upon them.
This is a most undeserved measure.
You are not worth another word, else I'd call you knave. I leave you.
Tis good. It's very good. It is so. Good. Very good. And conceal it a while.
Stone and forfeit to cares forever.
What, sweetheart?
Although I have sworn before the solemn priest, I'll not bed her.
Oh, what's the matter, sweetheart?
Oh, my Parolles, they have married me. Out to the Tuscan wars.
Aye.
Never bed her.
Aye, to the war. France is a dog hole, and no more merits the tread of a man's foot. To the war.
There's a letter from my mother. What the import is, I know not.
That will be known to the wars, my boy, for he hides his honor in a box unseen that hugs his kicky-wicky here at home, wasting his manly marrow in her arms that should sustain the bound and high curvet of Francis and Mars' fiery steed. To other regions, France is a stable. We that dwell in it, jades. To the war.
It shall be so. I'll send her to my house. Acquaint my mother with my hate to her, and wherefore I am fled. Write to the king that which I durst not speak. His present gift shall furnish me to those Italian fields where noble fellows strike. War is no strife to the dark house and detested wife.
But wilt this bravery hold in you? Not sure, Carroccio.
Go with me to my chamber and advise me. I'll send her straight away.
Tomorrow.
I'll to the wars, she to her single sorrow.
Aye, these balls bound. There's noise in it. 'Tis hard. The young man that's married is a man that's marred. Steal away, bravely, go. The king hath done thee wrong, but shh. 'Tis so.
My mother greets me kindly. Is she well?
She is not well, but yet she has her health. She's very merry, but she is not well. But thanks be given, she's very well and wants nothing in the world, but she is not well.
If she be very well, what does she ail that she's not very well?
Truly, she's very well indeed, but for 2 things.
What 2 things?
One, that she's not in heaven, whither God send her quickly. The other, that she's on earth, from which God send her quickly.
My fortunate lady, heaven bless you.
I hope, sir, that I have your goodwill to have mine own good fortunes.
In having them, you have them still. In leading them, you have them. My knave. How does my old lady?
So that you had her wrinkles and I her money, would she did as you say?
Why, I say nothing.
Mary, you are the wiser man, for many a man's tongue shakes out his master's undoing. To say nothing and to do nothing and to know nothing and to have nothing is to be a great part of your title, which is within a very little of nothing.
A very witty fool. Go to, I have found you.
Did you find me in yourself, sir, or were you taught to find me?
In myself.
Oh, yes, the search, sir, was profitable, for much fool may you find in you, even to the world's pleasure and the increase of laughter.
Stop that! My lord must away tonight. A very serious business calls on him. The great prerogative and right of love, which is your due, time claims, and he acknowledges, but puts over to a compelled restraint, whose want and whose delay is strewed with sweets, and these, distilled in the curved time, shall make the coming hour o'erflow with joy and pleasure round the brim.
What more commands he?
That, having achieved this, you take your immediate leave of the king, and make haste with your own propositions, and strengthen whatever apology you may make it seem probable need.
Oh, what is his will else?
That, having achieved this, you await his immediate pleasure.
In everything I wait upon his will.
I shall report it so.
Thank you. Come, Sirrah.
But I hope your lordship thinks not him a soldier.
Aye, my lord, and a very valiant proof.
You have it from his own deliverance.
And by other warranted testimony?
Then my dial goes not true. I took this lark for a bunting.
I do assure you, my lord, he is very great in knowledge and accordingly valued. Is she gone to the king?
She has.
Will she wait tonight?
As you'll have her.
God save you, Captain.
You, my good lord.
Is there some unkindness between my lord and you?